Welcome, everyone, to the Meaningful Hearts Podcast, where we discuss the everyday questions that make us or break us if we let them. With your hosts, Drew and Daniela. Take our hands and let's walk this journey together. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Meaningful Hearts Podcast. Drew is flying solo today, and I got a little time in the middle of the day to record this, so I figured while I have the moment to do so, I will. I've been in my head quite a bit as of late, just going through the things that I'm trying to process the things that I'm thinking in my mind with my life and where it's headed and all the things in it. And something that I haven't done in a little while, and I wanted to get back to it, as well as go back and look at some of my previous entries. I'm talking about journaling. Had a little bit of a hiatus from it. So I decided, to open up my journal and just see where I was around this time a year ago. See where my head was at. What was I thinking? What was I going through? How was I feeling? So sometimes you want to see, maybe this is just a thought pattern that I have periodically, and it's not a permanent mindset, or I've grown since then. I just want to see what I was thinking at the moment and see how I have evolved since then. So I was just scrolling through, the previous year around this time, and I noticed that I was at a pretty pivotal point. Obviously, wouldn't exactly say that it was July of this date, because I know where I was at that point, but a couple of months prior, last year, and I was at a different company, and I had a little bit of a transitional point as far as a conversation. I was waiting on a conversation to happen that would decide on how my year was going to look, or my next 6 to 12 months were going to look at this point. And I was reflecting. I was just looking at it, and I was just pretty surprised at the things that I was saying, like, oh, this is a big step. I'm really anticipating this conversation. It was going to be a different position within the company that I was working towards, and how I was feeling about it. And it just brought back so much. It brought back some feelings that I had. It brought back some, I guess, not kind memories of how I was feeling towards myself, or the stress and the type of, I guess, unnecessary feelings that I was having, if that makes sense. Yeah. And the reason why I bring this up is because, our lives always move forward. Whether we like it or not, tomorrow happens, the day after happens, and the day after that happens. And there's new turmoil in our lives, and there's new things that are happening that we might feel at the moment are beyond our control, or something that is just so overwhelming. Like, how are we going to get through this? How am I going to get through this next step of my life? What am I going to do? How am I going to process this and evolve? And I'm looking back and I'm like, holy shit, like, wow, so much has happened since this day, since this time period, since this entry has been logged in. So many things have happened. So many things have changed. My mindset has changed in a lot of ways. The way that I look at things, the things that I've learned about myself and my abilities. There's just so much that has changed, so much that has evolved since then. And I'm really grateful that I have this to look back upon and reflect. I think that sometimes what we do is we go back in our minds to a memory, but when something is written down or something is recorded in detail, you can go back to it, and it's It's right there for you. But when you imagine or you think back to a memory, you might have actually blown it way out of proportion or added some variables in there that weren't there or stretched the truth on what that was but when you have it right here in front of you to look back upon, it's kind of awesome. And enough about my tangent, but I really just wanted to kind of reflect on where I was at this point in my life, and where I'm at now and how I'm feeling now. And I guess I am having a little bit of turmoil again. Once again, it's crazy that I stumbled upon this one page that I flipped through, but how I'm feeling at this moment, I guess it's a new set of turmoil. It's a new set of unknowns. I don't know what the next year is going to bring me or what my journey is going to look like on the way there. But I do know that I will move forward and I will become more because I want more for my life. So before I write my next journal entry, which will be after I record this, I guess this renews my faith in the future and that and my abilities to make a better future. And I guess this is a reminder to myself that to keep pushing forward and to try harder and push harder and look for greatness, and greatness will find you. It's just a matter of time. And it doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen in 30 seconds. It doesn't happen in a couple of days. You got to kind of chip away at it. And I guess you can't see the progress in increments of small increments. You really can't. But when you reflect back and you look at where you were and where you are now, it's like, wow, that's the reward. And sometimes we just can't see it because we're not measuring. We're not really measuring. We're not writing it down. We're not recording it. We don't have anything to look at, to reflect back upon. And I think that's something I should start doing, not only with my life as far as journaling, but Tarun's a fitness guy. He likes to work out. He's got his own channel. I mentioned him a dozen times, more than a dozen times. He doesn't shout me out though, so he's a bum. No, I'm just kidding. But he helps me build my workout routines. And the one thing I don't do is I don't take progress pictures. And he told me, he's like, listen, I'm not going to build your next program if you don't take progress pictures before, so we can see where we're at after. And that's something that I want to start doing so that I can look back, just like I did in this journal, about where I'm in my career and my life as far as progress. But this is something I'm going to start doing with my physical body, to reflect upon, to look back. Because sometimes I'm kind of like, how much progress did I make? Am I slowing down? Is my progress getting better? Is it getting worse? What do I need to work on? And yeah, that was another rant. But in any case, I just want you to know that you are all beautiful and amazing, and there are great things for you in this life, and you don't get to just receive them without a lot of pushing forth against resistance and craziness that this world throws at us. But it's an exciting life to live. This is what makes it all amazing. It's the battle. It's the being tired and not sure if you have enough in your tank, but you make it through. And then the next day comes and you got another hurdle. I think that's the way life is going to be, especially if you want to do great things in your life. This is part of the process. And I highly recommend recording your journey so you can look back at it and reflect. I love you all. Thank you all for listening. Catch you on the next one.